Hello, I'm Francis McShane, and in this video I will show you how to set up window profiles for use by WinDoor plus Custom Profile. I've drawn some faces in SketchUp. They are the outline of a common type of timber window similar to those available from many manufacturers and joinery workshops. Please note that I do not recommend the use of any of the profiles I have provided in a real building. They are there to show you what is possible with WinDoor plus Custom Profile, not for construction purposes. When I click on this surface, you can see that it is just a simple SketchUp face drawn on the ground plane. All the faces shown here are thus. The first thing you need to do is to make a glazing group. Note that WinDoor plus Custom Profile does not show the individual sheets of glass in a glazing unit. WinDoor plus Custom Profile represents glazing units as two simple glass faces, the inside and outside faces of the unit. In the profile, the glass sheets of the glazing unit are SketchUp groups rather than faces and edges. Each glass sheet represented by a single rectangular face in a single SketchUp group. The back face can be painted with one transparent glass texture and the front face with another. If the sash is to be a spandrel panel, then use opaque textures for the front and back faces. The textures you choose will be painted onto the front and back faces of the outside and inside faces of the glazing unit in the finished 3D window. Just copy the group to the other glass sheet locations when you have finished painting it. Check that its origin is bottom left. The entire rectangle should be in the positive quadrant of the local drawing axis. That is, green axis to the left and red axis to the bottom of the rectangle. SketchUp will already have placed it there if you simply draw the original rectangle in the SketchUp model as done here, double click it and group it. This example window is triple glazed, but as stated, the extension will only model the external and internal glass sheets, each as a single face. I nevertheless have shown all three sheets in the profile. This lets the extension know the depth of the glazing unit and retains the designer's intent. Now paint the faces inside the components with the textures which will show when they are extruded into 3D windows. Paint the back face of wooden parts an architectural hatch texture for wood. The back face will be the inside of the extruded shape. The back face is always facing up when drawn on the ground plane. This is the correct orientation for WinDoor plus Custom Profile components. If you wish, you can adjust the hatch so that the profiles look more like they are made from separate pieces of wood, although this will not make much difference to the 3D window. Paint the front face of wooden parts with the texture you or your customer want to see, since this will be the outside of the finished window. In this example, I am making the outside of the finished window a timber finish and the inside of the finished window a white finish. That is the reason for the diagonal line across what would otherwise be a solid timber section. You can hide the line if you wish, but don't delete it. The front face is painted white on the part which will show inside, and timber texture on the part that will show outside. When installed in a wall, the window will appear timber from outside the building and white from inside the building. I have coloured both faces of the draft strips and glazing glue a dark brown colour, but you can paint any of the faces in the components, front or back, with any texture you want. It's up to you. I've chosen these textures to show you how, and because they are common enough finishes for a window and for window profiles. Add a construction point at the hinge point of the opening sash. If you don't do this, then the extension will not be able to execute the open or close casements method. The next thing you need to do is to make some SketchUp components out of the faces. There are four fundamental profiles in WinDoor plus Custom Profile components: a sill, an opening sash, a fixed sash, and a glazing bar. These two faces will make the sill component. You can call the component whatever you like. You may have many WinDoor Plus custom profile components in a complex project, so it is wise to name them descriptively. All four components are now ready to be set up as WinDoor Plus custom profile components. Select all of the profiles to make a selection set of them, and then right-click them and select Mark Selected Components as Valid Custom Profile Components. OK the message boxes which appear. You will now have marked your selected components as valid custom profile components. Click into the opening sash component. Select the faces which form the opening part of the sash. Right-click on them and select the drop-down option Mark Selected Faces in Profile Component as Opening Frame Faces. The two message boxes which follow will inform you that the faces have been successfully marked. You will not be able to mark faces that are not part of a valid WinDoor Plus custom profile component. Edges and groups in the selection set will be ignored. Click into each component in turn and check that its axis origin is located correctly. For the outer frame, fixed and opening sash profiles, this is the bottom left corner, the top of the profile tight against the green axis line and the inside of the profile tight against the red axis line. For the glazing bar, the correct location is centered on the inside of the external part of the glazing profile. For a sill without an internal sill board, it is the bottom left corner with the top of the profile tight against the green axis line and the inside of the profile tight against the red axis line. In this case, there is a sill board, so move the axis to the bottom left of the external part of the profile, the location where SketchUp would have located it had there not been an internal sill. Select all of the components and group them. Right-click on the resultant group. From the drop-down menu, select Mark Selected Group as Suited Profiles. In the dialog box, enter a descriptive name for the suite. Click into the group of freshly suited profiles. Right-click on a component and choose Add Profile Type and Transparency Data to Valid Custom Profiles from the context menu. Respond to the dialogues which appear with the appropriate responses, depending on the type of component you are marking. Be careful to mark glazed components as transparent and spandrel panels opaque, and to differentiate between opening sashes and fixed sashes. All four components are now set up and safely grouped in a suited group, all ready for use by WinDoor Plus Custom Profile. So let's give it a go. The profile component is added to the window as a hidden object, and this hidden object is used by the extension when you edit the window size, etc. The extension will not be able to edit the window if you delete the sash outer frame, glazing bar or sill components. It needs these to rebuild the window. You can check the profile components by turning on Hidden Objects in SketchUp's View menu and clicking into a sash, outer frame or sill. You will find the hidden sash and glazing bar profiles at the bottom left hand corner of the sash. and the hidden outer frame profile at the bottom left hand corner of the outer frame, ghosted. The sill profile will be at the left hand end of the sill, again ghosted. Thank you for watching.